it kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go lefty.
No, we're talking about the players. That's tournament champion to the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are streaming live. This is Down Lane Podcast from Town and Country Lanes in the lab. I'm your host, Kyle Haynes, and with me is the assistant to the host, Anthony Scatia. Good evening, everyone.
Can you guys hear me all right today?
I can. Check. Let's go.
Well, no, I'm just saying because somebody forgot to unmute me, so it seems like you guys are in a mutiny against me to kick me off the show. Yeah.
Hey, I think you're on your computer mic, bud.
Oh,
what else is new?
I swear to God, I changed it.
Well, Mitch says you sound great.
Mitch, you're okay. Can you hear me better now?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
All right, guys.
I can never figure out these things. They're too. This is too technical for me. I need an assistant to the assistant.
Sorry.
Isn't that what I am?
Yes. Actually.
Why am I not ready then? This is unbelievable.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. And don't forget to share with your friends. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
The socials.
That's right. And you can email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. And as always, comment to us during the show. We love to take comments. We love to take questions, and we will address them as fast as we can.
As long as we can get to it.
That's right. And today I feel like we might be able to get to it. So please
Absolutely.
comment to us.
Love it. Love it. Live it, laugh it, love it.
We got a lot to get to today. Anthony had a big week this week. What's going on this weekend?
I don't know. It just things are going good. House is going great. Sleeping well. Things are, pretty good.
Just that simple.
Yeah, life is good. What were you gonna say, Kyle?
I wasn't gonna say anything. I just was when you mean sleeping great, would you get a new mattress or something?
No, I'm just sleeping great. I'm feeling good, feeling light. I'm working out in my dreams.
Nice.
Been a good week. How about your week, Kyle?
Pretty good. Same old. Busy at work. And that's about it. Getting ready for the podcast. We have a lot of topics to get to.
I know it's so hard to pick, but the problem is I want to get to them in the right fashion, Kyle.
What kind of fashion is that exactly?
Depending on the type of season, we get into certain topics at a certain point in this season. I feel like I just said that twice, but we did the how to get ready for, the upcoming year with your grips and this and that, maybe some mid-season stuff or some quarterly season stuff. Maybe we should go over some honor scores we've had in the building or something like that.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
So we can kind of update people how we're doing here, as well as, maybe give some people the best advice we can and talk bowling.
Are you saying we should go over honor scores because you had an honorable week this week?
No. I'm just saying it because we have a lot of honor scores. It'd be nice to recognize the players.
Yeah, we'll get to that guy in a second, but let's get to this week's poll question. All right, for those of you that answered on the Instagram, we posted out there this week's poll question. In his first apartment, and we're speaking about me this week, what did Kyle use for a dining room table? Now, the two options were pool table or ping pong table. Overwhelmingly,
Pool table.
the crowd voted for ping pong table. 89% to 11%.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Congratulations, everybody. I think I voted for pool table.
And it was indeed a ping pong table.
That's kind of ironic because you're horrible at ping pong.
You are wildly incorrect about that.
Don't make me get my Canadian cousin on this show.
I mean, no offense, Kyle, but out of financial decision, a ping pong table is way cheaper than a pool table.
Oh, that's very true. And financially speaking, the ping pong table was free. So growing up, we actually had an outbuilding, not a shed so much, but like this big outbuilding at at our house growing up, and it had a ping pong table. We called it the ping pong room. So when I moved out into the apartment, and it was 3 of us, me, my friend Charlie, and my friend Matt, and there was no dining room table in the dining room. So I was like, I have the perfect solution for this problem. And the ping pong table was not being used, and we rolled it on in to the dining room.
Oh, that's a heck of a story, Kyle.
Well, the better part of the story is that, of course, in your younger years, you have some parties and some get-togethers. And my friend Mickey, I think we were playing doubles in a room that was not so large of a dining room.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably like 8 feet wide. And my buddy Mickey was going for a shot and went straight through a panel wall in an apartment that we don't own.
That's good. That always seems classic, Kyle. Wildly outlandish you are.
It wasn't me that went through the wall. My friend Mickey. But we did have some pretty killer tournaments in the house. We had a running tally of who was head of the table at the time. If you had to challenge the winner all the time.
King of the hill, just like in bowling.
Yeah. You
I
couldn't.
like that.
The table was always yours if you were winning constantly. It was fantastic, and that's part of the reason why I'm so great at ping pong.
But
Tennis.
I've seen you break more table tennis paddles than seen you win.
I have gone through my fair share of paddles.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So we brought up the topic earlier that Anthony had a ridiculous week this week. He had 2 honor scores, 812 and 815. The 815 he shot 1072 for 4, and on the 812, back-to-back 300s. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Scatia.
Where do I look?
To your right.
Thank you. It was a good night. Got lucky.
Good week.
Well, I still have to bowl this week. Thursday, I shot 10-12 with a phantom foul.
Phantom foul.
Where I could have shot 10-50.
Had we done a contest this week, or for last week, I would have got you. I shot 10-20, 26.
Yeah, I had a phantom foul in there.
Using urethane for half the night.
Good for you, Kyle. I'm proud of you. But did you throw back-to-back 300s?
No.
Did you throw 2 800s 2 nights in a row?
No.
With 2 bowling balls that you have never thrown a shot with?
Right. And
even more impressive, touchdown lefties.
2 bowling balls that no one else has access to except
False.
for people on staff.
False. I threw a Polaris. That's out. The other one was a Quantum Evo Solid.
Yeah. But speaking of that, we're going to talk about that a little later, about the DynamiCore product that Brunswick
2.0. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely different, I think. It's a little weird.
Right.
Throws me off a bit.
And now that it's October, last week was the end of September. This week we are into October. Just want to make mention, it is Bowl for the Cure. Susan G. Komen, so supporting breast cancer awareness. I can't speak. So there's a lot of different opportunities to donate and whatnot. If you go to bowl.com, you can certainly look at different ways to support the awareness effort and the cure effort. They have ways to donate. There's tournaments, there's leagues, all of which that have opportunities to do that. In the PBA, a couple of things. One was that the CCO of Valero and the PBA CEO, Coley Edison.
What the heck is CCO? So I know what it means.
I'm not really sure. That's the first one I've ever. Chief Corrections Officer. I don't know.
Commercial Officer.
I don't know. So maybe she...
Chief Commercial Officer, an executive role with the holder being responsible for the commercial strategy and development of an, more than likely, business.
Yeah.
There you go.
Basically, she was recognized as the Sports Business Journal's Game Changers class of 2021, being a leader, trailblazer, and innovator in the sports industry.
So what the heck did they do to become trailblazers in the how did she win? What What are her accolades?
I
Did
don't
we
know.
find anything?
I haven't really found much other than that. Bolero has brought more money to the PBA. Their prize funds have increased. There's a lot more marketing. It does look better, on TV and stuff.
Yeah, the TV's pretty good.
The PBA and Fox has definitely been better, but that was all Tom Clark. He got that deal. But I'm still going to go with the thing that we've talked about before. The website is freaking atrocious. It's a joke.
What is up with you in in this internet website thing? I mean, it's absolutely. I mean, I get it, but I mean, I do get it.
It's 2021, and you need a functional website.
Yeah, but I mean, the PBA one isn't that bad, is it?
It is. Their schedule isn't up to date. They don't have news that's up to date. They literally have links to scores that are PDF files. They don't have live scoring. They don't have anything worth of value on their website. Can't argue that.
I can't, but I mean, there's what other news do you need in the bowling? Like, I hate to say
every drop of news in bowling.
I know, but it's not like people are switching teams or anything. Like, look, Stephon Gilmore yesterday or whatever it was went to the Buccaneers for a 6th-round draft pick.
Wow.
But that's what I'm saying.
Anyway.
Yeah, but that's news. I mean, if you're looking for news, in reality, bowling really doesn't have like, oh, Bill O'Neill went from the Philadelphia Lumberjacks, wherever the heck they are, or Hitmen, and is now traded to the Florida Wildfire.
Yeah, they don't exactly.
They don't have that kind of stuff. They don't have injury reports. They don't have trade talks. They don't have that stuff. So, I mean, how can you – what more – I mean, I guess the live scoring, yeah, that's the only portion of it that's actually legitimate that they actually should have. Well, yeah, and they should have it. I mean, how hard is it to run a – I mean, I could even do that. I can't even on our website, so never mind. Scratch that.
Well, speaking of PBA news, because I can tell you that the PBA announced on the 1st of October that they are modifying the amateur cash rule. Are you familiar with this amateur cash rule?
No.
So basically, as an amateur, if you cash,
which I am an amateur.
That is correct.
Okay, so if I'm talking about myself,
if you bowl in PBA tournaments and you cash more than twice, you must become a member of the PBA. Sign up as a member.
So you don't have to be a member. I could go bowl right now and not be a member and cash.
Right, as long as they have open spots, sure. Now, the reason why this is a problem is because in the collegiate level, college players are not allowed to be PBA members. However, they are allowed to bowl in tournaments, PBA tournaments. So they can't be a member. So to allow college players to be able to bowl more in the PBA tournaments and potentially cash more, they eliminated the 2 casher rule so that they could cash more and not have to become a PBA member.
They eliminated that rule completely?
Yes.
So now they can just
just for college players only.
That's a bunch of garbage.
So basically, if you or I cash,
we have to become members
after 2 times.
Yeah. Yes. Of course I would cash. But
based on what evidence?
Very true. Well, that's the other thing that's interesting is that, why are they giving these college people these
benefits?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to bowl PBA, you want to bowl pro, pick one or the other. I can't go play pro baseball and then come back down to college baseball. And especially if you're making money, how is that fair to the other college athletes?
Well, they allow the other college athletes to make money now, right? They get paid endorsements. Well, I guess that's not being paid to play, right? They're just getting paid for endorsements now. Is that right?
Yeah, right. So you get paid for Chick-fil-A sponsorship, whatever, and they pay you whatever it is. Like the whole Miami football team, I guess, got a sponsorship from like a company just because they're Miami football. So the whole team gets paid plus getting a scholarship. I mean, I guess it's different now. I guess I'm talking a few years ago when I played baseball. It was different. You weren't.
How many sponsorships did you get?
Of course, I had millions. But Austin did come up with a good fact that Collie Edison and Bolero, and Bolero Corp was on the TV show Undercover Bosses in 2020.
Interesting.
We're gonna have to watch that because I want to know. They didn't come here. Because if they were here, you would have taken care of it.
They would have visited one of their own Bolero centers.
I know, but I'm just saying they should have came here and talked to you. Kyle throwing those good burns in tonight. Come on, Mitch. Guy doesn't know what a burn is. You know.
So anyway, yeah. So the PBA removed the 2 casher rule, so college players can bowl and cash in as many PBA events as they want. The only caveat is they have to check with their college or their college association, whether it's NCAA. Although the men don't bowl in NCAA tournaments, they might have to abide by NCAA rules. But they have to check to make sure that they're allowed to cash or take money.
I don't like it.
Okay. Pro or amateur, right? You got to go one or the other.
I mean, well, see, I think athletes should get paid to play. So I guess I don't know where I sit.
Yeah, the school's making money. Well, not in bowling, but in the other.
Yeah, well, in some of the other sports, basketball, football, possibly baseball, depending on where you are, that's where you're getting all your money from. So I guess I should say it depends on how much revenue your sport brings in.
So in other PBA news, guess what they also announced?
They announced, I don't know. You tell me, Kyle.
The Chris Paul tournament, the thing that I've been complaining about for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Do you think they watch the show?
They must.
Because, I mean, you complained for a week and a half about it, and now all of a sudden you're going to tell me news about it.
Yeah. It's on October 17th on Fox.
That's in 14 days. Oh, that's in 10 days.
So my question is, again, I'm just an idiot that's
we know
on a soapbox, right? Mm-hmm. That has no idea about their marketing strategy and blah, 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 like Ben said from 10 Pin Life when he was on last week. But why wouldn't they have just done it live with people 2 weeks ago if they're just doing it now in 10 days?
COVID.
That's an easy out. But they still could have done it live, is my point.
I mean, yeah, I just don't think maybe they didn't want to put the work in for it. Maybe it was just a for fun thing where guys went there and it was done in an hour and a half and they're out the door. No fans, no autographs. Don't have to have the riffraff of the people around Chris Paul and whoever else is on. Maybe they were like, we don't want to deal with that this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends too, because when's the NBA start?
You are asking the wrong guy.
I know. I don't know either, but I'm pretty sure it's soon. So is he even playing anymore? Isn't he like 40?
I assume.
I mean, he used to play for the Rockets. Oh, there we go. The NBA season starts on the 19th. See, Mitch knows. So maybe he was in training camp. They did it on the side or whatever the heck it is. And bingo, bango, out the door. Hour and a half. See that, Kyle? Look at that. Let me
so
put my mind together.
Maybe this is the marketing strategy right there. NBA season starts on the 19th, and you got the CP3 Invitational on the 17th, 2 days before.
I forgot he's on the Phoenix Suns. They almost won. I did know that for some odd reason.
All right, Mitch Young, you are now hired for $0 as our stat checker.
Yeah. Congratulations, Mitch. Congratulations. Welcome to the team. Kyle will email you next week.
All right. So now that Anthony is out there on his own, I want to know, basically meaning like, you live in a house and
yep.
You got to do some yard work and whatnot. What is the strangest thing that you have ever dug up? Not that you really do that hard of work, but like, or found in your yard or whatever.
Nothing.
You've never found anything weird or
nope. Trees and leaves, bud.
Trees and leaves.
Trees and leaves.
All right. So
how much digging
have you
been doing?
What's that?
Have you been doing any digging?
No grave digging yet. If I would be digging any grave, it'd be my own.
Morbid.
So I haven't.
Do we need to talk?
I haven't started that yet. I haven't started that because I don't need to. I don't feel the need to. I said it was a great week this week, getting a lot of sleep, doing good. I don't know. What have you dug up, Kyle? That's weird. What has your dog dug up?
So it's not my dog, but this guy in Michigan, I got to pull it up here. He was digging under his steps because they were like falling apart or something.
Okay.
And he dug this up. Let me Let me pull it up here.
Started out when we moved in, we had a home inspection, and they had noticed that the cement stairs on
See
the
what's
top of
behind
that,
him?
the cement pad was
What the
leaning
heck?
into the house. So when water would drip on it, it would drip down into
Wonder
the
if he's got
fountain.
any blue rhinos.
When I started, I kind of saw a loose cinder block on the side. And pulled that out and took a peek and saw a black sphere. So it seemed
What's that
kind of
black
odd to me.
sphere?
So anyway, I proceeded to demolish this last week and just ended up pulling ball after ball and layer after layer.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of like a paleontologist.
Not
sifting
gonna lie,
through
I
the
thought that
bones
kid
with
had
my
a
hands and a
cigarette in his
brush.
mouth.
Probably worked on it for 4 hours and then looked behind me and there's just a sea of balls.
Are those the rubber ones?
Kind of pushing them
Yeah,
off
those
the
are-
ledge
those
and
are the
trying to
real
get
Those are
around it
really
today,
old.
and I plan
Yeah.
to keep a lot of them, like some of
Look
the
at that.
nicer looking ones.
Are they drilled?
Do some edging. My wife's really crafty and wants to
Doesn't look
do
like
some
it.
projects like that. And
That's
then
pretty cool.
I've gotten so many
Is that a Black
ideas
Beauty?
that
Ooh.
post that I made.
I need a
I'll
new
admit
spare
did
ball
kinda
anyways.
post it on every
Somebody got
group
this
that I'm
guy's
a part
contact
of that's
information?
relevant, but it took off way more than I could have expected. So I've
Wow, good for
got all
him.
these people throwing all kinds of great ideas at me, and I really just don't want to see them end up in a landfill somewhere.
He should definitely make that tower of bowling balls from Nationals in Syracuse with all those old bowling balls.
The DNA one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that one, Kyle?
Yeah, like the double helix. You mean?
Yeah, it's like a double
Yeah.
helix. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
Absolutely.
sweet. So 158 bowling balls he found under the foundation of his stairs.
Maybe it was the foundation.
Basically that's what they did. They built the perimeter and then they filled it with all sand and bowling balls. 'Cause he didn't want to. But apparently the guy whoever built the house didn't want to find rocks and stuff to fill it in with.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't
We
like
could
that
probably
idea.
fill that hole.
Yeah, with all of our stuff, absolutely.
Leftover junk stuff. Every time I'm done with a bowling ball, I just put it out there on the rack.
And then I throw it out.
That's right.
Bowling balls burning in a fire look pretty cool. Just gonna
Ooh.
throw it out there.
Which kind? Resin or rubber or it doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
All right. So talk to us about this DynamiCore. You had a chance to throw it now this week, which is obviously really helping you out. Because
I only threw it once this week.
But I had a chance to look it up a little bit. Actually, you know what I'll do?
Can I give a background first while you chit chat?
While
you get ready.
I was going to pull up the video that Brunswick put out for the DynamiCore. Are you
Okay.
going to kind of give up the same information, or
I mean, go ahead. I mean, I think I would know it, but let's see what they have to say.
let's see? But basically, they've got this freaking technology, which I don't know if it's anything new per se. Would you say that it's new or that it's like
DynamiCore
updated?
itself?
Yeah.
No, DynamiCore has been out for a few years now.
No, the 2.0. I'm sorry.
The 2.0 is not out until the Quantum line. And I will say the inside of my bowling ball is actually purple. It's awesome. It's not blue anymore. It's purple. It's pretty impressive. I love the color of it.
But you're throwing the 2.0 now, aren't you? Don't you have that new one or no? Or am I
might have brought it.
misunderstanding? No. But isn't you have the new 2.0? It's out for you guys.
The
or no?
DynamiCore 2.0, yeah. The
Yeah,
Quantum
okay.
line. Yeah, I have both Quantums, yes.
Yeah, but it's not fully released until when you said?
October 22nd to the
Right,
public.
okay.
I did throw it, yes.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and play the video now, and we'll elaborate after.
What if I told you you could have a chance to strike 12% more? Would you take that? What DynamiCore does is
I don't
it
know if that's
keeps the
true.
pins
12%?
more active. There's more coefficient of restitution,
I don't know.
more kinetic energy.
In order to improve the pin carry, we needed to improve the restitution of the ball. All bowling balls are exactly the same size, but they vary in weight from 6 to 16 pounds. So what's inside the ball has to change density. Starting from the ground zero, we said, what are all of the places where we could make the core blending process different and better? So what we wanted to do with DynamiCore was to improve that rigidity of that outer core material.
What you're going to notice right away is not only the sound, but the amount that the pins move when the ball hits the pins.
A lot of what you do with the cover stocks of the ball changes what it does from the foul line to the head pin. What DynamiCore does is it changes what happens when the ball hits the pins and goes through to the pit.
You're going to see the pins bounce from side to side. You're going to see a bigger influence of pin carry.
DynamiCore is different is because that core
That's Sean
matrix
Rash.
is number one, is
He's
it's better blended.
Not on staff
and
anymore.
number two, it's better
How's this video?
bonded.
Well, this
together.
is DynamiCore.
I've been
This is
testing balls
2.0.
since the
Oh.
early 90s, and this is one of
So I'm
the
gonna
biggest
ask you, though, what
game
the difference
changers
is.
I've ever seen.
I think
Do
my
you have the answer?
favorite part of this project is
just asking what I see?
realizing that the way that we had done stuff for a long
Ask you what the
time
difference is.
could be different,
Oh,
and that
okay.
we could make it better.
We've always been bringing in new ideas, new innovation, new technology, new science. That's what Brunswick is.
All right, so that's DynamiCore. But so what's the difference between DynamiCore and DynamiCore 2.0? You really have that idea yet?
So basically what DynamiCore is, because that was a short and sweet video. I'm going to see if I can find my exact email that they have sent me. So basically what DynamiCore is that it is a filler in the bowling ball. So typically the normal fillers are white on the inside. If you've ever looked into your bowling ball, the core is like a brown color, and your cover stock is obviously the color of the bowling ball. How big is that, Kyle? How big was that? What is that? Quarter inch, 3/8, half inch?
What are you pointing at?
The cover stock on that strata.
Oh, yeah, it's about a half inch.
Okay, so let's say it's a half an inch. So your cover stock is a half an inch. Your filler covers the rest of the ball until that dense part of that weight block kicks in. So the filler is what's basically majority of the inner piece of the ball. So what they did was a few years ago they made DynamiCore, which is I'm going to say a denser material on the inside that doesn't change the weight too much. So that way they can keep the coefficient of restitution lower. And what the coefficient of restitution is it's basically how hard the ball hits the pins. The higher that number, the better your pin carry gets, because you're able to carry more. Or I hate the word carry.
It moves the pins more.
It moves the pins
Better
around.
pin action.
Right. So typically with your original quantums back in the day when they were two pieces, they had really good coefficient restitution numbers because of the fact that they were two pieces, the cover stock and the core. So it was just really dense material. Now with the added fillers into it, it becomes a softer hit because it doesn't have all those dense materials really creating that low number. I guess it's low. Maybe it's high. I don't know what it is, but we're going to say stronger coefficient of restitution. So now what's happening is they keep putting this in the high-end bowling balls. I can't find my email where they talked about it a little bit, so I apologize. But so what they're doing now is they put it in all their high-end stuff. So if you go to your Brunswick line stuff, your Tracks, your Ebonites, Columbia 300, Deviate, Radical, Brunswick, if I'm missing one, Hammer. I don't know if Hammer has used DynamiCore yet, to be honest with you. But the other ones, if you look inside the high-end performance balls, it'll say DynamiCore on the label, on the little marketing ploy they have. And then when you drill your ball, there is a little bit of blue in there.
Oh, my goodness.
Can we see the blue on the inside of the ball? Can you see it? It's a lighter shade of blue from the cover stock. I don't know if you can really see it. Maybe we'll have to take a picture of it one day. But basically what it is, the blue is to signify that it is, using DynamiCore, and that DynamiCore helps the pins fly around a little bit. I don't know if it's 12%. To be completely honest with you, I didn't notice that much of a difference from the original DynamiCore to the regular fillers. What my brother, who just walked in the door, and I have talked about multiple times, is certain batches hit better. So I don't know if the first batches typically always work better than the batches that are processed after. That's just a weird thought of mine. So
You did say, though, that the ball definitely hits different.
That is the original deflection of pin. The deflections of pins are higher with the denser material. That's what Austin said. Deflection of pins is higher with the denser material would be a simpler way to put it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sorry. So good job, Austin, because I can't say words. So the DynamiCore, the original, I didn't see much of a difference. It basically the first batches of bowling balls, I could tell a difference in the hit. But I used the Quantum Monday night, the new one. And they're saying that the DynamiCore on the new Quantum line, the purple, inside, the purple inside, is actually a better DynamiCore, which helps you strike even more. So I did use it on Monday night, and I will say that my pin carry was really different. I will say that when I was not really different, but when I was watching my ball go through the pins, as most bowlers should do, I noticed that the ball kept the pins lower on the deck, and my ball looked like it never really moved too much. Sometimes I can see a ball if it deflects or if it kind of rides up the pin. It's a weird way to put it, but I can see it, and I'm like, ball's really not rolling that good. But with that ball that I used on Monday night, it was really low to the pin deck. It kept the pins low, and when the pins are lower, they have a better chance of hitting each other. If they go up and out and back, you're never going to hit anything. But I did notice that the new quantum line, I did have a different hit. Now, was it just me? No, because I don't think I was really thinking about it either, because I don't think about that stuff. I just throw the ball. So I do think that there's a little bit of a different hit factor in there. I don't know if it's 12%, though. What do you think, Kyle? 12% is a lot.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. I haven't seen the 2.0, but that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of pins. I mean,
that's 12 shots out of 100.
Thank you for the math.
You're welcome. Some people can't do that.
That's literally a 300 if you were to string them together. I mean, obviously.
No, that's what I'm saying. And I mean, but here's the other thing that you look at too while you're talking about ball technology. I had a good week this week, as we had pointed out earlier. I had back-to-back 300s Tuesday night with 812, and I had 814, 1070 on Monday night, 1070 for 4, 814 for 3, and 2 completely different bowling balls. I used the Quantum that has a DynamiCore 2.0. I did notice a different hit. Now, the other funny thing is I ended up on the same pair both nights in a row. So I don't know how much that played into effect, but all I know is I really like 9 and 10. But the second night when I used the Polaris, that's another new ball by Ebonite, that does not have DynamiCore 2.0, and I went back-to-back 300s. I mean, they did hit a little different, but I can't tell you enough. I don't have the science talk numbers to really tell you this is what it is. I'm just telling you from my eyes.
Yeah.
It's not that much of a difference. But I haven't thrown Storm in like 3 years either, or Road and Grip, or 900 Global, or Motive for that fact. So honestly, I can't give you a legitimate
comparison.
Yeah. I mean, it might be biased because I've always liked the Brunswick stuff better. But I mean, what do you think, Al? Do you think that's actually a possibility they can create a denser weight block or a denser filler to be able to hit the pins around better?
I mean, I think there's absolutely materials that you can add or change to be more dense for sure. The interesting factor is more dense or more dense and not be as heavy or be heavier rather.
Well, that's the issue that they ran across, is that I guess they were working on this for a while, and the reason they're coming back out with the Quantums is because back in the day, because the Quantums were 2 pieces, they had a better hit percentage. Let's call it hit percentage. Is that okay?
Just explain 2 pieces. You mean a 2-piece?
A 2-piece is a cover stock and a weight block, and that's it.
Okay.
There's no filler at all. Back in the day when they first came out, that's what it was. Now you're talking about, they did remake the Quantum line, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. My guess is they had the red, the green, and then they came out with the white and the blue, the ones that were asymmetrical. And they all have higher radius of gyrations, or RG. Their RG is higher because they were more 2-piece like the originals.
Right.
So what happens is that ball becomes extremely unversatile because you can really only use it when the lanes are really calling for it. By the way, I like the white Quantum. That ball rolled really good for me. But going back to what I was saying, they're unversatile. You can't change the numbers. You can't manipulate the weight block enough to be able to create a ball that's going to be more versatile for more types of players. So what ended up happening with the DynamiCore 2, because it hits even better than the original DynamiCore, they were able to create another Quantum line. Now, it's not really a Quantum block. Both have different blocks in them, but they're mushroom-shaped like the old ones used to be. So they were able to lower the radius of gyration, or RG, while keeping, in theory, the same the hit percentage. So that way they could have a better, more versatile ball for more types of people instead of just one end of the spectrum. So that was the thought behind it. and that's why they did it. So talking about making it denser, making it heavier, that's where they run into trouble, seems like, except for now with the 2.0.
You think the
Make myself clear?
USB-C? What's it? Yeah, I think so.
Make myself clear?
You think the USB-C will have any interest on regulating different densities inside the bowling balls to slow down those different hit percentages?
I mean, I don't know. They don't really do foul lines, so.
Well, they obviously have an
Sorry,
interest in.
excuse me for being rude, but I
Well,
mean the rules of the game.
That's not official yet.
Yeah, well, the rules of the game aren't exactly strong at this point, so
Yeah.
I guess you're really trying to make the bowling balls more standardized, but I think there's bigger things to deal with than bowling balls. Let the bowling balls, the rules are fine with them now because it is what it is. The cat's out of the bag with reactive resin. So you need to go back to the approach, the foul line, the lanes, the oil patterns if you're really going to be looking at a rule change. I don't think the coefficient of restitution is going to be that big of a deal. But on the flip side, I think to get off of that kind of point, what's your take on Storm not having anything on the inside of the bowling ball? So if Storm doesn't have anything, because Storm is kind of the other bigger competitor, let's say Motive too. Let's not be brandist here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's Motive and Storm, which are everybody's under their own line, and there's some other ones out there, but the big ones are those ones. Why don't those two have anything?
Right. That inside, you mean? Yeah.
Right. Like Ebonite had before they got bought out. Columbia.
Right.
Had what was called Hypershock.
Right.
Which was a green inside, which was kind of on the same kind of scale as DynamiCore is. So why aren't these other companies using it? Or do you have any thoughts on that?
It's a good question for sure. It's interesting that, Storm has probably won the most money on the PBA out of any of the companies prior to Brunswick buying everybody up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they're starting. Brunswick stuff is now. They always had some decent people. Now that they have more brands.
But prior to that, Storm was pretty much the leader on tour.
Yeah. They were
and probably
won
the most money.
Yeah.
So they obviously haven't had any issues with scoring.
Right.
And I don't know if they.
Have you kept track recently who's winning?
No, because there isn't anything on TV recently.
Well, the senior guys and stuff like that.
No, I know. There's a lot of Brunswick guys. You got.
There's a lot of Brunswick guys winning a lot of stuff.
What's his face? Brunswick. Brad. Is it Brad Angelo?
No, Brad Angelo is Storm.
Oh, he is Storm. Okay.
Yeah, but no, there's a lot of Brunswick winning. Parker Bone won a ton this summer. There's been a few other guys who have won. I know they're doing. You're going to look it up. Good. Look it up.
Yep.
There's been a lot of guys on the Brunswick side that looks like they've had a lot of success. Parker had won like 3 or 4 this year. Mitch, you make a good point. A manufacturer's championship on the PBA tour. I don't know. It's an interesting point. I think each manufacturer has some different views on who gets on staff and who doesn't get on staff. I think they see it differently. So I don't really know if you could do a manufacturer's championship unless you limited it to certain amount of players. But it is a good idea. Amaletto Celli won. Yeah, that's right. Brian Kretzler won 5 events in a row. Brunswick's making a comeback. The old guys are coming back.
Well, they did pour a lot of money into the legends.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Let's see. Titles. Parker won 2, by the way.
I thought he won 3 this year.
Tom Hess won 2. He's Storm.
Yep.
Weber won 2. He's Storm.
Yeah.
Chris Barnes, he won 1.
900.
Which is also Storm.
Yeah.
Brad Angelo. Doesn't show any titles, but he was still 4th on the list. Amaletto won 1. Parker 2. John Marsala, which is Roto, 1. Lenny Borsch, Storm, is in 8th. Norm Duke, 9th, 1-1.
Yeah, it's a lot more Storm guys than I thought. Seems like whenever I see people win, it's Brunswick. Maybe it's because I don't really pay attention that heavily to the senior
Walter
tour.
Ray is 10th. I can't believe Walter Ray was 10th on the PBA 50.
Yeah. He's probably playing horseshoes a little more.
Imagine this, only winning $26,000. It's just not even, I don't know. Anyway, the other thing you were talking about, there's a lot more fish to fry. Like the rules and the lanes. I actually saw somebody post on the boards today. Is it time for the USBC? And I should give this person credit, but I did not write their screen name down. Is it time for the USBC to introduce sanctioned lane patterns?
Meaning they have 3 sanctioned ones,
or whatever the number is, and whatever
like
they
5, and you can choose
So you
between the
have
5 for your
this
center that
house
work better.
sanctioned pattern, this recreation, or this recreation sanctioned patterns,
Yeah,
these challenge sanctioned patterns, and then these challenge or sport sanctioned patterns.
I mean, going back to last week, because we had a great talk last week.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome. Would love to get him back on the show. Now, before we get into it, I did say make the lanes harder, and some people took that to heart and saying some people want to have a good time and not have to worry about scores, or they would like to score high. I'm not saying make them impossible, people. I'm saying maybe just add a little bit more of a element where you have to focus. That's it. I'm not saying make them impossible. I'm saying, if we're using a 10-to-1 pattern now, which we are, and we have honors, we've had like 10 or 12.
Sorry, what ratio did you just say?
10-to-1.
Is what you're at right now.
Yes. If I can make a pattern play that easy from 10-to-1, why can't we use 6-to-1 or like 7-to-1?
I agree, but I didn't think it was 10-to-1.
Yeah, so that's my thought on it. And if people don't know what that means, we talked about it last year. 10-to-1 means that there's, for every 1 unit on the outside of the lane, from let's say 1 to 9, for every unit or 1 to 10, from every unit 11 to the inside, there's 10 units of oil. So that way, when there's more oil in the middle, the ball doesn't skid, and then when there's less on the outside, the ball hooks more. So that way, you have more forgiving shots. I don't think don't make it crazy hard, but let's just make it so there's a little more focus. I was talking to one of my customers the other day, and generally, his name's Tom Anderson, as we all know Tom. We like it to be a little bit more challenging. And I'm not saying make it crazy hard, because I understand that I'm probably 1%.
When you say we, you mean we as in
me and Tom, we're talking.
individuals, right? Not we as in the bowling center.
No, not the bowling center. Just us two were talking about it. So when I refer to we, I refer to us two. When we were talking about it, we liked them a little bit harder. So, we practiced last night at a challenge on a PBA shot. But, if it just was a little bit harder, a little bit out of bounds, or where you had, you could still hit the head pin but not strike on every shot, it would make it so I'd have to pay attention a little bit. Now, granted, I do pay attention, because when I go bowl, I'm going to a tournament this week. We all know I haven't been bowling much because I haven't had a lot of time. Things are slowing down, so I'm able to get some more. I had some practice last night, but I would like to still be challenged a little bit. I both nights I shot 800 with back-to-back 300s. I used the same ball, just moved a little bit, threw it hard, gnawed on it like chicken dinner, and my pin action was good. And I did bowl pretty good the second 300. The first 300 game, I didn't throw the ball that good. I got lucky. But, I want it to be a little more challenging.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Well, I find the argument of I just want to go have fun or whatever a little hilarious, because most of the time, no one's having fun anyway. They could shoot 230 or 250, and they still are like, what's wrong with the lanes this week? Or, they still get angry.
Yeah.
So if we knock your score down or your average down, what's the difference?
Yeah. I don't know if it's tough to understand where everything's going to have to go. Like we were talking about the bowling balls. The bowling balls, keep the rules in place, because the cat's out of the bag.
Right. I don't think you can't go backwards with the bowling balls. It is what it is.
We need to focus.
You can control the lanes.
Well, I'm not saying that. Well, here's the other thing I like, because we talked about the interview last week.
Yeah. With Chad Murphy.
Chad Murphy, thank you.
Yeah.
And he said, we do give you 3 options to bowl, which I don't know if you like that answer. I like that answer.
I disagree with that answer.
Because I like that answer. But the problem is the majority of leagues that you bowl in don't want to bowl in the challenge or the sport shot. So then you get suckered into bowling on the house shot.
We have no other option.
Correct. And that's I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but there has to be something.
The answer is what you said last week. There can't be sport bowling and bowling.
I know.
There should only be bowling.
And I agree with myself from last week, okay? But I'm just saying I don't know I understand there shouldn't be two different levels, but to be honest with you, looking at it from a standpoint here, all 24 of lanes are going tonight. I don't think any of them want to bowl on what we would want to bowl on. So I think that we just have to.
My point is there shouldn't be another option.
I'm digressing.
I know, but
this is not good.
Okay,
talk me off the ledge.
No, hang on. So I usually go with golf, but let's forget about golf. Let's talk about tennis. When you go play tennis, you don't go find a different court that has a shorter net or a smaller court. You just go play tennis. So
I know. That's what I said last week. That's what I said last week.
Right.
Bowling is bowling. Sport bowling is.
So you might go play tennis with somebody of your comparable skill level. So maybe the bowling lanes need to be, or the conditions need to all be more difficult. Again, not impossible.
We're not saying impossible,
harder.
people. We're saying just add another 2-2 load out there and see what happens.
They just need to be more difficult so that when you pitch it 10 boards to the right, you're still not hitting the head pin. I mean, give me a break.
At least you're not striking.
Right. So my point is, maybe instead of we bowl on 10 or 15 to 1, we bowl on 6 or 8 to 1, and then you bowl with the people that you want to bowl with. I'm not saying you can't bowl with people that average higher, but if you want to everybody be more competitive, you bowl either in a handicap league or you bowl together in a scratch league, like 200 and under or 225 and under.
Well, see,
whatever.
That's Mitch, you just put in a great comment. Austin, I'm not going to click a button because I ruin it every time.
Mitch, that's exactly what I was trying to say, but you probably said it better than me.
Yeah,
maybe you should be on the show, Mitch.
Well, you already hired him, so bring him in. And I agree with what you said there. Let's, if your average is 170 to 200, let's get you in a league that's 170 to 200. But the problem is with that is that my buddy doesn't average 170, so he's not allowed in the league. So I don't want to bowl now. And I get, hey, we got to work your way up. But still, if Johnny wants to bowl with Bobby, I mean, I don't want to. And if Bobby's not going to bowl because Johnny's not going to bowl, and Johnny's not going to go bowl because Bobby can't bowl with him, then you're going to lose players. Johnny and Bobby.
See, I think you already have the solution to the problem, Anthony, by having affordable tournaments that let these handicap bowlers actually reach out and bowl on harder patterns. And I think that's the solution to a lot of it, to get people to get into the challenge side of the game, because they're not going to go spend $100 to bowl a tournament they know they have no shot in,
No, I completely
so
agree.
by running a tournament where, the entry fee is $25, $40, and there's
you're
not
necessarily bowling for money. Yeah, you're not bowling for money.
They'll go and bowl for the experience in that tournament.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the tournament club is for. That, like we've been harping on this show every week, it seems to come up because
46 players, by the way, in that tournament.
44 players.
44, sorry.
44 players.
But and Austin, I hear what you're saying. I still have a hard time believing that there should be a easy recreational side to the game. I think it should just all be difficult, and it not impossible, but difficult. It should just not be easy. It's my opinion. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be able to pitch it to the gutter and have it bounce back.
Yeah. And then Mitch just said they should have a handicap sport shot series. Now, we did that a few years ago, Mitch. And to be completely honest with you, I didn't like it at all. I don't like the handicap on sport shot, because if you're going to go bowl on a sport shot, the people who are lower average have the advantage anyways. And you're going to say, I don't really understand that. Because how could they have a better opportunity to score? Well, you got to think, when you're a lower average, you're making less spares, you're throwing less strikes. If you're bowling a guy like me, who my average is, we're not going to say how high it is, but I would basically be bowling scratch. So now, you cap it at 50 pins. I see what you're saying, but still, then that's not fair. Then you lose players because it's not. Then you're trying to cap people off. So now you're not grabbing because I would re-rate everybody. So if I'm 225, let's just say, I'd be 195, and let's say we're basing off of 210, so I'm going to get 15 pins. But now you're going to say you have a guy who's 170, 180, and you're going to take away 30 pins of his. Now he's going to be at 150, and you're only going to give him 145, 150, 140. You're only going to give him 50 pins. Now he's going to say, well, I still can't beat him.
Yeah, still not going to show up.
So he's not going to come anyways. So I think it's a tough decision to make. But at some point in time, somebody has to. They have to stand up for the integrity of the game at some point a little bit. I think the integrity's there, but I think that the proprietors and the USBC need to have the USBC in particular, We talked about them growing the sport last week. I think they don't necessarily need to grow the sport, but they have to give the proprietors and the people who want to create a better environment for bowlers, they have to give people the tools to do that. They can't just say, well, hey, there you go, you're on your own here. Here's your sanction fees, here's this, here's that, here's your level of coaching, like they talked about in the Chad Murphy interview. I don't typically agree with that because I don't think, in my honest opinion, I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade here. But if you're a certified coach by the USBC, I don't really know what that means. Like, what does that mean?
You took some classes, yeah.
But I mean, I understand that some people might be better versed at coaching versus others because some people have to do everything right to be good, and some are just good and they can't really teach the way they bowl. Let's look at Lichstein, for example. There's a guy named Lichstein. He bowls over in Connecticut, the New England area and stuff. He has the most wonk game you've ever seen. It is absolutely, it hurts to watch, but he's the most winningest player in the NEBA, the New England Bowling Association, ever. He's got like 40 titles, and nobody's even close to this guy. And I mean, granted, he probably is a great coach.
I figured this out. Do you know why? Because when he bowls, he knows he's going to win. That's what I figured out when I watched him. Yeah, there is no doubt in his mind that he is winning that day.
Yeah, he's nasty. But let's get back to what I was saying because I don't want people to think that I'm like, this guy can't coach. I'm sure he can, but there are some times when you get to that level of bowling that you're so good at what you do that you can't explain it to other players. So I think that's another thing too. Like, yeah, you can be a gold level coach, but if you're like, let's just say you have the weirdest delivery in the world and you go try to help somebody and they're conventional or they're kind of like a normal player and you can't help that person, how can you help? How can you help that person if you just, what I do is I think about this and they're like, well, I don't understand that. And you don't have any other lingo. You have no language to talk to the player. Now you've completely lost the connection with the player. The player's completely lost connection with you. And now he's like, he's really not that good of a coach. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And then you lose that customer. And then he's like, well, maybe I don't want to bowl because there's no coaching. Did I make sense out of that?
You rambled on a bit, but I think you made a point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry.
So let's get on to our question and answer here. So Mitch had a question a while back. I'll put it up here. Have you seen the new Rubicon UC3?
I have, and I have people already asked me questions about it. Does anybody know anything about it, or am I going to have to talk about this one too, Kyle? You want to use it?
I just popped it up. It's it's a new urethane from Rotogrip. They call Torethane. And it's a pearl.
I know.
Urethane. It's
kind of like a purple hammer, I'd assume, but they have an asymmetric weight block in it to try to make a little bit more turn for it, a little bit more hook. I actually would like to see Brunswick do this.
The asymmetric rondeur.
Brunswick, if you're watching, can we do a asymmetric urethane ball, please? I'm not saying that it'd be like super popular, but I think that I would enjoy trying one of those. I think that it would be better for your average player if they want to get into urethane because the other ones are so
early.
Well, they all are kind of early, but you might be able to tweak these ones a little bit more because of the asymmetric core. I don't know though. I'm just kind of speaking from, I've seen a few guys throw hot cells, and the hot cell was pretty good ball for certain conditions, like really good, and I never made it that long.
I mean, I assume that obviously it's pearl. It's going to go a bit longer than urethane. It's not going to.
Your purple hook early,
right? It sure does.
That's a pearl urethane.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. It looks like it's going to be polished, probably, right? Not just.
Where's the specs say on it? You've got on the screen there. Scroll down.
I know, but this is it. This is it. This is the whole screen.
You're boring. What about the other one? Did anybody talk about the other one?
What's
the
that?
Idle Helios. Nobody talked about that one. By the way, Kyle, it's 1,000 grit factory finish.
Okay.
So it comes sanded. The new one, and then other than that, the Idle Helios is your new Rotogrip symmetrical idle line ball. They've got a brand new cover stock on it. It's a nano base cover, kind of like the other nano base covers, High Road Nanos, High Road X's, NEX. Those are all kind of your nano base cover stocks. This one's all orange, pretty sweet looking. Kyle, can you show it? I'm sorry, I don't know how to do it. let's just show it. So I'll talk about it. It's got the Extreme Tracks cover stock on it. It's brand new. It's a nano-based cover stock, so it's gonna be a little bit more, a little stronger off the friction point, I should say. It's gonna create a better motion. Let's see. It's gonna have the most responsiveness to friction, that's what we said. But with the nanoparticles, it will give you that roll in the mid lane you're looking for, that steady roll. It's going to be better for your probably your benchmark pieces out of the gate kind of stuff. It's got the same core as the original Idol does, and it comes at 2,000 grit. So if you like the Idols, this one looks like it's going to be a winner because the nano technology has been really good. The axioms, proton physics.
So I've been seeing everybody talking about this Pride like Mitch is. The
Motive Pride. I have seen a lot of people talk about it. I haven't looked too much into it because I'm not a big Motive guy, but let's check it out, Kyle.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
I got it right here, as a matter of fact.
You're so good. So on that one there, let's see. Ooh. It's a low end asymmetric. If this reminds me of anything, it's gonna be a Rubicon-esque type ball. It's got very similar numbers. It's got a lower differential, so it's actually more towards an Obsession Tour ball, and it comes at 4,000 grit LSS. I don't know much about the cover stocks of Motive. I don't have a lot of Motive customers. I don't think I have any Motive customers, to be honest with you. I don't have people who come in for the Motive stuff, so it's not extremely popular here. So I'm sorry I can't give you a good recap on that, but it looks like an Obsession Tour or a Rubicon. It looks like that's what they're trying to copy here with the numbers on the ball. If you're looking at that, Mitch, I've seen a few guys throw it though. I've seen a few guys throw it. Looks cool.
The only experience with JoPo switch grips, which are those double click ones, right? They've got the 4 tabs on them.
The JoPo's got it's like the screw-ins like the and then they've also got wings on it. So it's the best of both worlds. I actually just drilled them out for somebody because I don't have the JoPo's here.
I must be thinking of the other ones.
Well, he did say the JoPo's. I haven't had much experience with them, but to be completely honest with you, from what I've heard of guys talking about them, is they're absolutely phenomenal. They're the best of both worlds. They don't move. I guess some people say they move a little bit up and down. I haven't had that problem with mine. Some people don't like the ones that you use the turbos because the wings click out or the keys wear out and they don't click anymore. So with both of these pieces on there, it definitely gives you a little bit more of a security blanket because it's actually like a sleeve, but it's got like the screw integrated into that sleeve. So I to be honest with you, you've got them already, and I've heard they're great. I don't have a problem with either of the two that we install here.
You might have to order some up, and I can be your test dummy.
You want to switch thumbs?
Why not?
Jesus.
Love the look on your face. All right, so we got a couple of seconds left before we go. Let's get to our bowler of the week, our inaugural bowler of the week. All right.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate everybody for coming here today.
It is not Anthony. He is not allowed.
I call baloney.
This gentleman, he is 59 years of age. This year, he is currently holding a 233 average. His high gain was 300, which he also, this isn't his first 300, but this week, he also got a 300 game.
Okay. Is it me?
His high series is 799. He hasn't quite broke the 800 bubble.
I think it's going to happen for this man.
I feel like this week he's going to.
The time and work that has been put in. Absolutely.
Listen to this week of bowling. 706, 712, 707, 755, 933 for 4. This guy tore it up this week.
It also says he's got 1162 for 5.
Oh, yeah, 1162 for 5.
Yep. And he had a 300 on Monday.
Yep.
Okay.
I literally just said that.
I know. I'm just making sure we get all the facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mark Patel from Guilderland from Town and Country Lanes. Yeah.
Congratulations,
Mark. Our very
That's
first
a picture of him at
inaugural-
Nationals.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, this Mark has come on the scene the past 2 years. I've seen him practice a lot. He retired, came in, been taking a lot of time on his game, comes in, talks to me almost every day.
He's a
And,
lefty, though. I got to preface that. He's a left-hander.
Okay, and lefties are better than righties. He's taken a lot of time to get his game better, and I really it's great to see how well he's done. And then last year going to nationals, we were actually a bowler short because something happened like 2 weeks before, maybe a week before.
Yeah, it was almost no time.
And we were talking to somebody, and he overheard the conversation. He just said, "Hey, I'd love to go." And we're like, "Yeah, but it's going to cost your arm and leg." He goes, "I don't care. I want to go."
Marcus will be like $15,000 to get out there. It's like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, he was all about
Just
it,
kidding,
and it wasn't that much, no, but he did it. He went out there. He really enjoyed his time, and he
loved it, man.
he loved it, and he has come back really strong this year. Been bowling great. He won a ball in our tournament club. He shot 300 with it.
Yeah, nice.
That was the ball he shot 300
Wow.
with. So, congratulations, Mark. Well deserved.
Well deserved and earned.
Bowler of the week.
Absolutely. He killed it. He was super excited to learn that he was bowler of the week. He couldn't.
What does he win?
Couldn't watch. He wins our gratitude. Actually, I think what we'll do is we'll put all of the bowlers of the week into a lottery, and then we'll figure out a prize, maybe a Downlane podcast, something or other.
Whoa.
Yeah. So if you want to be bowler of the week, we will post the link to enter. And you have to, every week, you can enter and you can put in your scores for the week and all of the information.
Prior week, Kyle?
The week before, or the week from now until next show. You have until Wednesday at 5 p.m. to enter.
Okay, thank you.
So basically from last night to next Wednesday.
Okay.
And you'll be able to enter your scores and all the information on the form. And you can find that form on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. You'll find the post. And if you go to Instagram, it's in our bio. Hit the link tree button, and it's right there. So yeah, hit us up. Also, before we go, it is October, as we said at the top of the show. So we need to know what our Halloween costumes should be for the week of Halloween on the show. So if you have any ideas, email us at downlanepod@gmail.com, or maybe we'll put a post out on the socials, and you guys can drop some ideas there.
Cannot wait to dress up for the show. I want to be a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay, well, let's hear what they have to say first.
Oh, okay, sorry.
All righty. Any last thoughts? Final thoughts?
Final
We gotta
thoughts.
go.
Well, yep. I just want to say thank you to everybody listening today, and hopefully you have a great week.
Alrighty. Well, here we go. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends. You can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Bill Murray and Ghostbusters is what he wants you to be, Anthony.
Isn't he the guy with the crazy hair?
Bill Murray?
Yeah, it like was standing up and
You don't-
crap.
No.
You don't know who Bill Murray is?
No.
Sorry, guys. I'm 27.
Yeah. Oh, I'm 27. You know, Bill Murray's never been in a movie since Ghostbusters.
I'm 25.
All right. I want to show with a bunch of
Mitch
kids.
said yes.
Okay. All right. Catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you can't watch the show, don't forget to download and listen from any major podcast outlet. And please give us a 5-star review if the podcast outlet gives you a chance to rate us. If you would like to make suggestions for the show or for our Halloween costumes, for that matter,
Yeah, baby.
email us at downlanepod@gmail.com.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Thank you to Austin Van Buren, the producer, Jack Scatia, proprietor of Town and Country Lanes. Thank you, Anthony, for another great show.
Thanks, Kyle. I really appreciate you having me on today.
Thank you to my family, Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan. We will see you next week. This is Downlane Podcast.